Why are we doing this again?
Well, we just wanted to highlight Miss Gwendolyn Belle H's career. It's impacted so many, and I believe it's important that she is spoken of.
Isn't that a little egotistical?
According to my sheet, you are her manager, advisor, agent, and companion. You have been for years, is that right?
Yes.
Maybe you could tell us a bit about her personality, behavior, daily habits.
Well, she liked to be organized. In fact, whenever she got an idea, she would rush out of her room just to take a note, no matter the situation. Gwendolyn made it a priority to write down every idea and make sure not to forget it. Aside from being inattentive, she had a couple short fuses. Any moment she could really break out into irritability or frustration. Pretty much anything could pull the tripwire.
And how did she handle these feelings?
Well, I don't think she really hurt anyone due to her anger. In fact, she was probably one of the most big-hearted people you could see on television. Her passion and love was quite star-crossed. As for coping with them, she had various mechanisms, one of them being erratic journaling. I remember seeing it once, just pages and pages of nonsense and arguments with herself. She also had a passion and borderline duty to dance. Whenever she really felt it or got a sort of intense feeling, the way that she would attempt to deal with it was just breaking out in the song and dance whenever she could. Not in public, of course. Gwen didn't really like meeting new people that much. I still think there was a missing diagnosis for that mad bat.
Did you ever ask why she was so upset?
I remember a discussion we had once. She talked little about misunderstanding and loneliness, though they weren't really in definitions you may understand.
How so?
Well, she had had a very, very strong and loving support system throughout her whole life. Yet, with all the family and friends she had around her, as well as a healthy balance of isolation and spending time with others, I still think her loneliness grew afterwards. Though, again, I think it was still due to the misunderstanding she experienced.
How did she define this?
Even though Gwen was constantly surrounded by people that loved her, she did complain about a couple mental challenges that made it difficult for her to really communicate what she wanted to say. Of course, this reason really just led to Gwen having a lot of difficulty in her day-to-day life as well as being a celebrity. In many of her art, I believe it was dramatic because of this communication issue.
I'm only 18. I know they won't say I have talent. I'm just trying to say something. I mean, they'll say and they won't say that. They won't see that. They'll say she's youthful, she's trans, she's pretty. I mean, like I love the oldies, the microphone youngies, the people on the big screen, the pages and the performance, the leaders, the outcasts. Please just see I have to say something.
I'm afraid we can't publish this, miss. The government, group mentality, sexist, ageist, racist, quote-unquote strong, knowledgeable, important, and...
Dare you say human?
Saying your voice is insignificant and anything and everything is too much effort to think about or sacrifice a penny for. That's your name. 1 cent. Enough heaviness. Denied Gwendolyn Belle H.
Art should be magnified. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be exploited. Please, listen to what I have to say.
If I had to define her career and message in 3 words, I think they'd be eclectic, meaningful, and silly. Eclectic because of her many views and ideas and the different art forms she used to express them.
What the hell is she doing is a quote from New York Times poking fun at Gwendolyn shortly after her first on-TV showing. Quote, she shared strangely worded claims about helping others and being important. The media took her as another Hollywood failure until her film was officially released. Now, years later, a queen of alternative media and an advocate for a better life, without further ado, we present to you, fighting against bias, Gwendolyn Belle H.
And meaningful due to the heart she put into this art. I remember when we were in high school, she always said she was no more important than just a bunch of molecules on this planet. But I think she was pretty unique.
Cam, a close friend of Gwen's. Pleasure to have you here. So, can you tell us a bit about Gwen? Other than attending some events in the arts, she was pretty quiet for being so popular.
Sure. While quiet and different, she makes up for that in her intellect. She was pretty clever in some situations. However, I don't know if they're all worth mentioning. Point is, the smart ones are usually the quietest until they want to be heard, and then they're the loudest in the room.
Could you tell us some more about what Gwen thought about? What was her process?
I remember a couple things. She said some weird stuff. I can share both sides, though. First of all, her ideas of art and expression were beautiful. I remember Penny would sometimes have tough days due to her frustration. She was always rambling about how the art industry has become so money-focused. I remember she once cried to me saying, "It's not what art is. It's not what art is." I felt bad, but overall I agreed with her. It hurt me to see her be so deeply affected by this. I enjoyed talking with her at the cemetery we went to.
What's even the point of making this? It'll just fall into the majority's paradigm. Honestly, she was a damn weirdo.
The interesting thing was the beauty she saw in that old cemetery. It's so old that so few people go there or even know about it, yet its view and meaning were overwhelming, even for me. I remember she said, "Art and creativity is the 4th human need that is the gateway into and out of insanity." I never really got that until she died. She understood that everyone needed to be creative, but the artists that inspired her really made a difference. Never fell for that glitz and glamour, unnecessary facelift. She was open and accepted everyone without judgment. Gwen expressed her opinions in a very mature way. She wanted to be something, yet if she made even a single person smile, she'd be satisfied for life.
Her last words were, "I found everything I'm looking for. Time to look for something else." What do you think about that?
Sounds about right. I remember she read into Kornfeld's message about once the hero is dead, the story is over. And that isn't bad. She was never scared of death. for her or anything else. She wanted to break a barrier. And even if she inspired one soul, I think her goal of breaking the barrier of storytelling really did work.
People looking at me, I've got a grin. People looking at me, cracking their chin, getting ready for some kind of beatdown, getting ready to take me to town. Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
She was just a crazy bitch fixated on meaning. I mean, why are the different ones always so weird? Gay, goth, abused, special, smart, artsy? Honestly, there are just too many of us.
Did you ever think that it was you there are too many of? That which lacks decency and open-minded appreciation for all around them? Human and not. You're allowed to feel, and I understand that. But I'm making this to show the world that it isn't just what meets the eye. People in meaning from all over always do this dance. Maybe it's time you do too. Forget greed and desire. Embrace you and the world around you.